Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pitch-a-Thon. Thank you for joining us today to hear from 11 investment-ready ventures coming out of IDEA. IDEA is a student-led organization that serves entrepreneurs in Northeastern's community with support, in-kind resources, and educational experiences to help them launch successful companies. In just over 5 years, IDEA has worked with over 700 concepts. We've funded 63 ventures with $750,000 in non-equity grants through our GAP fund. We've launched 33 companies that have raised more than $23 million in seed and Series A capital, and half of that growth has occurred within just the past 6 months. This momentum is exciting for us as we continue to shape the future of IDEA, and we look forward to you all being a part of that. A special thank you to IDEA's service providers who lend their time and expertise to support our ventures. And also to our partners here at the university, Northeastern Center for Entrepreneurship Education, Health Science Entrepreneurs, the Center for Research Innovation, and the Sherman Center. You will hear from 11 entrepreneurs today who represent the next generation of ventures grown from the Northeastern entrepreneurial ecosystem. They have 5 minutes to share their background on themselves, their businesses, and their plans for future growth. There'll be no Q&A during the pitches. However, afterwards, there'll be designated areas for you to connect with them one-on-one. The first venture up is Student Rabbit.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saman Bagastani. If you remember your college days, or if you have a son or daughter in college, then you know exactly the problem that I'm here to solve. And that is that college textbooks are obscenely expensive. It's a $13 billion a year industry, and students are fed up. They're fed up with how much they're paying to buy their books, they're fed up with how much they pay to rent their books, and they're fed up with how little they're being offered by buyback companies who steal back their books for pennies on the dollar at the end of the semester. This market dynamic of being fed up represents a perfectly timed opportunity for my business. So we're talking about two problems with one unified solution. Again, the problems are it's too expensive to buy books, and I'm getting too little at the end of the semester to sell my books. So what have we done? We've connected supply with demand. We asked students, what are the books that you need next semester? What are the books that you have from this semester that you soon won't need? And then we match everybody up together. Creates a win-win for everybody. Now, this is a hyper-local solution. There is no shipping involved. It's pure student-to-student commerce. So what do? First step is we create a match between supply and demand. You'll see a screenshot here. I've gone in and told the website, I need global business today for my international business class next semester. I instantly see an offer. I click buy book, I put in my credit card information, and then I'm able to begin instantly chatting with the seller. We can talk about logistics like when and where to meet. Once we meet, the buyer provides their secured code to the seller plugs it in, gets paid, and the buyer's super happy because they just got this great deal on a textbook. Now, we keep 10% of every transaction. So the average textbook is about $75, the used textbook, that is. That's $7.50 of revenue per transaction. We expect an active user to use the site twice per semester. That's $15 of revenue per semester. So how many semesters? Well, it depends. If they're a senior, they've only got a couple of semesters left. If they're a freshman, there's 8 potential semesters. So let's go somewhere in the middle and call it 5. 5 semesters at $15 of revenue per semester, that's $75 of lifetime value. I've broken that up for you here in this chart to break down the marketing expense to acquire the customer, as well as the variable credit card processing fee. Now, I want to pause and take you back into December 2013, when I launched a free service that was aimed to prove out the concept of student-to-student textbook commerce. And very quickly, we signed up 1,200 users with over 7,500 match transactions. Now, this was at a campus of 7,000 students where we had zero marketing budget. We've accomplished 18% adoption in a very short period of time. So what we learned was that somewhere around 5 to 8% adoption on any given campus is when signups will start happening on their own, and that's what happened. The service began to diffuse throughout the entire market. So the real question is this the management team that can hit 5 to 8% on any given campus? The answer is overwhelmingly yes. Between Jason McDonald and myself, my technology co-founder, we had the skills necessary to build out this really cool technology and bring it to market. We also think that the proof of how great we did with this thing is the fact that over 80% of our users use the service multiple times throughout multiple semesters. All right, to round out our skills, we've built an advisory team comprised of a CEO of a management consulting firm, a software manager, and a CPA and former CFO of a public company. So the nuts and bolts of this thing, right? How are we gonna hit the 5 to 8% we need? Two things. The one is a brand ambassador model. We're gonna hire 3 part-time seasonal marketers on any given campus. These folks have intimate knowledge of the campus, and they'll go around signing folks up. Number 2, we're going to engage student organizations. We're going to provide them with contests and sharing of referral commissions for a certain period of time. And what do these 2 strategies do? They reinforce one another. They build communities where when students unite, #students unite, there's better outcomes for all. So the future. We just received a $10,000 grant from Northeastern, and we're going to prove out this concept here at Northeastern. We're perfectly situated in College Mecca, Boston. There's 200,000 students. And we have a plan to target 20 specific campuses that represent over 90% of that entire student population. I'd love to talk with every one of you about this afterwards, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Saman. Up next, we're going to hear from Jobble.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Zach Smith, and I'm the co-founder of Jobble. So attention event marketers, it's time to forget Craigslist, okay? I understand that you have a lot of issues trying to find staff for your events, and that's where Jobble comes in. We're building a marketplace that connects event marketers to a network of people looking to work your events. Today, event marketers traditionally are tired and traditionally sick of the few options that are out today. That's Craigslist and agencies. Today, if I want to get staff to work my event, I have to do all this sifting through resumes, go out there and post on different job boards to just get something simple done. I want someone at my event to represent my brand, and that's where we come in. So, pressing the wrong button. Anyways, so a little bit about the founders. In college, all we did was work events, to the point where we started a small student staffing agency that connected brands such as the Boston Globe, Stop and Shop, JetBlue, to a network of students looking to work events. And through that, we were like, all right, great, this is a great concept. Now let's throw in some technology to connect brands with people looking to work events. And that's how we landed with Jobble. Today, we launched in April. Since April, we've already onboarded 25 businesses, over 1,000 active jobblers, and have already completed 50 events. And this is, mind you, only in Boston. Why is it so special? The platform really is reliable. It's highly scalable, it's extremely efficient and cost effective. So when I need people to work, with a click of a button, I have people all over the country ready to work for you. And I always like to talk about the other side of the marketplace. Why is it easy for us to get these workers? It's because it's tremendously lucrative. At any time of the day, they can go out and work for brands that they would love to work for. Just a little bit about the actual platform. Today, it's web and mobile. For businesses, the way it works is they go in, they post their event. They go through what the requirements they need for and how many openings they need, and then they post it out. Every jobbler is powered by mobile, so it's kind of an on-demand workforce generation that we have created. And through that, they just pick and choose whatever they want to work, they apply, and the businesses get it and pick and choose who they want, and then off with their event. After the event, they rate, review, and there's a section where it posts their experiences. So at the end of the day, other companies in the network can see, oh, this person has worked for Red Bull, and I'm Monster, and I would love to hire them. At the end of the completion of the event as well, they can pay it seamlessly within 48 hours. A little bit on the model. So today, the way we work it is companies get access to this platform unlimited for a monthly fee. What we say is if you're a company that runs, let's say, 1 or 2 events a quarter, we still have a pay-per-event model, which is 20% off the top of the total event cost. The market. So what I always like to talk about is event marketing is huge. Everyone likes to run events, go to events, and really meet kind of their consumers face-to-face. And today we wanted to start with the staff, the people that really represent a brand, right? So when we look at it, we're attacking a $1.9 billion market. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is what HubSpot did to inbound marketing. We want to be the solution for event marketing, and this is how we're going to win. Everyone I talk to says the best way to talk to your consumers is face-to-face, and that is true. When you shake a hand, it goes a lot farther than hiding behind an ad or anything of that sort. So today, where we sit is going, hey, through execution and actual analytics to really track your ROI, we'll be able to develop a very, very industry-transforming event marketing solution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zach. Up next, we have building conversation, ARC.
Hi, everybody. Let's see. Oh, where's the, there we go. So we are an augmented reality solution for architectural visualization. So what does that mean? I'm going to show you 60 seconds about the problem and solution, and then I'll talk about it in more detail. So let's see if I'll be the first guinea pig. There we go.
You've got plenty of visualization options. The problem is a clarity of communication. You're limited to just a few static rendered images with no feedback. So what if you could use your existing assets and have unlimited viewing options in the boardroom or in the field with augmented reality? Building Conversations ARC app gives you infinite viewing options with photorealistic textures, simple massing models, and then take them out in the field on your mobile device and view them from 360 degrees, perfectly registered on site, walk into your virtual living room, look around, look out of your virtual windows at the real scene. The customizations are almost infinite. So if you want a much better conversation with no added hassle, go to buildingconversation.com and let us help you build a better conversation.
So I burned a minute with that. Hopefully that was worthwhile. All right, so I'll go right to this. So the problem, it is poor communication. That's why we named the company Building Conversation. It is a technology service company, but that's our focus. The main problem today, believe it or not, for communication, architectural firms, real estate developers, they all use static foam core models on the tabletop, 2D blueprints that roll out, static, very expensive renderings, or even more expensive, static, non-interactive VR experiences. So our solution is an easy one. They don't have to learn a new software package. They don't have to train their employees on anything. All of the standard packages that every designer and every architecture firm uses exports the same standard format, which is what we import into our viewer, into our ARC app. So the main benefits of these. So these are our solution benefits: cost, conversation, and sales and marketing. Every firm has confirmed with us, and I'll talk about our client base next, that either the internal designers and or their marketing teams both hop onto this solution combination. So the leadership team, we started 3 years ago with being approached by the local architectural community. My business partner, George Thrush, is the founding director of the architecture school here at Northeastern University. I just resigned after a 7-year term here at Northeastern teaching full-time. So no boos in the audience? Boo. It's very sad. So I could focus full-time on being CEO for the company. Mark Sivak also is currently full-time faculty at Northeastern as our technology CTO. I've had about 25 years experience working in interactive media for Microsoft and Xbox launch, worked for George Lucas, flying the Millennium Falcon, got South Park started on TV, lots of different interactive experience, and George gets us in the door at all of the major firms worldwide. He knows all of the founders and senior partners. We've rounded out a great board of advisors who lead the world in architectural visualization and technology, You can read more about them on the website. But a simple use case is basically if you're a public facing concerned citizen and you hear about this 700-foot tower going up across the street from where you live, you might not like that idea. Is it going to block the view from the Citgo sign or cast shadows on my lawn? Well, you use our app and put in the password provided by the real estate developer or the architecture firm, and you can download the app for free, go out to your sidewalk and look around through your iPad right at the real live view with our architectural visualization overlaid in real time. These are screen caps from the app. Pick a version, A or B, hold it up, look through, and this is an actual project in Cambridge overlaid on the live action. This is what you see. It's all tracked. You can walk around it, walk inside it, look out, look up. That's what you see. The addressable market, we know exactly the 24,000 firms in the world because they're all licensed through the AIA or the Canadian and UK equivalents. We know it's at least $1 billion and growing market, and we're targeting these specific segments. So we've got some financial projections here. I'm happy to go into afterwards, but we're looking at a pretty major market with fairly modest goals, and we've made really good traction. This is the infamous hockey stick. We're looking at a potential of $120, $150 billion augmented reality market. You've seen all of the investment news in there from Magic Leap to Microsoft HoloLens, so it's nice timing. And I'm out of time, so maybe I'll leave it on my current customer base. We're rocketing with all of our test base into paid customers in our SaaS B2B model. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Terrence. Up next, we have Wales.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Balazs Sharkan. I'm one of the founding partners, and I'm excited to invite you to take a plunge with Wales. Young professionals and college students face numerous problems, money and investing being one of the major problems. Some of the main issues are the lack of funds, knowledge, and accessibility for this. I'm one of those young professionals. I have a passion and interest for finance and the financial markets. I just don't really have an outlet to live my passion without facing the above issues. What we need is a more convenient, fun, and addictive way of improving our investment knowledge, becoming familiar with the investment world, with the market, playing real-time game that measures and improves our knowledge against friends and others in the other finance fanatics. So Wales is the solution, as it is a social community that through gamification fosters and rewards individuals to become more familiar with the market while playing a real-time game in a fast, simple way through real-time competitions. There's no other platform exists like us. So take a look at the way we see finance and the way it will be in the future.
Meet Wales, the first real stock investment game with real-time data and no risk. Yes, no risk. With this entire free platform, you can learn, earn rewards, and compete against other players. With Wales, you can challenge your friends and top players around the world to invest in your favorite stocks. On your home screen, view the hottest stocks and most valuable currencies. Then start and manage your games. Check out your title, available Wales coins, and even set up a fantasy league with your friends. Don't forget to exchange your Wales coins for awesome rewards. Compete on the market, share the app, and become the next whale of Wall Street.
So now that you have a little idea about what the app is and what it actually does, imagine... Excuse me, I wasn't sure I did that. Imagine, now that you know a little bit about the app, imagine Wales doing the same thing for the stock market as fantasy football did for sports, or for the NFL, as fantasy sports in general did for sports. Imagine being engaged on a daily basis, being in competitions with your friends, learning about the market while having fun and playing, and potential crash prices. So as of now, we're focused on young professionals and older college students who started to feel the pressure and need for improvement with their financial tactics, started to feel the actual pressure of the real world. So, and they also want to learn through activities with their friends, compete and progress together. For the first year, we are targeting to reach about 100,000 students, 100,000 downloads that we're planning on reaching. Our marketable version of the app is in the App Store. We started testing it, running a couple focus groups, and see where it leads us. Our business model is currently we're using reward-based advertising. So we're splitting our revenue with our advertising partners through our Whale Venture program. Our other potential revenue models would be affiliate models, where we direct traffic to our partners. Imagine Fidelity E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, just hopping in with a little advertisement after you win 10 games or after certain activities, and hopping in saying, we see you're doing well in this game, it's time to try yourself in the real world. Why don't you open an account with us, and first 2 trades are on us. We also run big data analytics. We use analytics to understand and predict future market movements with an in-house built admin console that we have high hopes for. Relative to competition, it's a completely free app. You can only win rewards from it because of our reward-based advertising through Session On. Based on our competition, pretty much every finance firm or everybody who does anything with finance is our competition, but nobody does the whole gamified view that we are using. So the opportunity for us is to change the perception of finance and capture the next generation. For companies, is to access the already interested customer base for better acquisition and large data analytics that we're using if they've proven to be useful. So now that you know the problem, know about the solution, and know a little bit about our company, let me introduce you our team. So myself, Bilal Sharkan, Ahmed, and Fawaz Al-Obeid. We are the founding partners. We met freshman year, and since then we worked together at Options Group as research analysts in the asset management space, and then at State Street, myself on the trading floor, and Fawaz in the CFO's office, Ahmed in under operations. If you have any more questions, please find me afterwards. I'll be happy to answer. Visit us at whales.co, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Up next is Right Grade.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Wright. I'm the founder and CEO of RightGrid. So at RightGrid, we believe that energy should be generated renewably and efficiently exactly where we need it, and that it should be done so that we're managing that power to ensure some level of independence from an otherwise limited power grid of today. So with these principles in mind, we've developed an independent point-of-use power platform that enables us to move small to medium-sized equipment that's traditionally on the grid off the grid. Some of the applications include experiential advertising, connecting devices, and rapid real-time data collection. The first example of our technology is in our first product, our solar cell phone charging station here, that is placed into city parks, college campuses, outdoor shopping centers. It's completely free to the public. It draws the maximum foot traffic and adoption, and then allows us to create an experiential ad platform for paying advertisers. So the market that we're going after, it's seemingly disparate markets, from cell phone charging to Wi-Fi hotspots, outdoor advertising, security systems, and vending. But at the core is the issue of power management and moving these technologies and these products off of the grid and making them independent from the traditional grid. In that way, we're really targeting our technology to be at the core of tomorrow's smart city infrastructure projects, which is over a $40 billion market. And in each of these individual market segments, there are plenty of large incumbents, but we're finding that we're able to partner with many of these folks. As an example, Verizon in Wi-Fi hotspots, we've already developed a partnership to incorporate their Wi-Fi hotspot through a cellular-enabled technology into our charging stations. Likewise, we're working with outdoor advertisers to develop partnerships with folks like CBS Outdoor and JC to match the advertising, and we'll replicate that across other market segments as well, with our core technology at the center of this market space. So it's our ChargeRight technology that is allowing us to stake out a strong IP position, both as an integrator and a systems innovator. On the innovation side, we're developing this novel proprietary platform that's a combination of hardware and software that enables us to maximize the efficiency of renewably generated power. In this case, it's solar for our charging station. On the integration side, we're selecting best available technologies and package them cohesively into thoughtfully curated products with the end user in mind. So letting the marketplace, the customer, the end user help us drive that product development, we're rolling out 4 products over the next 5 years, leveraging our technology at the core related to that power management. The first of which is the cell phone charging stations, which are already out in the field deployed. Next, we'll go to digital ad platforms to move digital ad platforms into spaces that they aren't otherwise available today. And we'll do that with smart connected devices that not only are advertising platforms, but are also collecting the data, real-time data that's actionable for our customers. We can do that just the same with vending machines, moving those off the grid and keeping them connected and creating experiential ad platforms around that, and even security systems. And all the while, with our core technology, we can license that out to OEMs and service providers to get us into other market applications. So monetization, how are we monetizing with our charging stations today? The closest comparable is a city info panel. Typically, you pay for 4 weeks. It's anywhere from $700 to $2,000 for that 4-week ad cycle. With our charging stations, we're getting $1,000 per month on average in advertising, with a $9,700 initial cost and $1,800 service and maintenance fee. You're breaking even in month 11, and then you're generating up to $35,000 a year over the 4-year useful life of the unit. So we've developed initial customer traction through event sales of our stations. So working with big name brands like Alex Nani and Squarespace, we've deployed our stations at outdoor music festivals and fairs as a way to draw foot traffic in for their promotional booths. In terms of our current pipeline, we've got over $3 million in active pipeline deals that we're working right now. We'll grow that to $8 million by the end of the year with a 9% closure rate. We're working on expanding our pipeline right now. It includes prominent schools. We've got 5 indoor units here at Northeastern, another in Georgia. We've got 10 more in the works, rolling out through the city of Boston beginning in August into Faneuil Hall, City Hall Plaza, Rose Kennedy Greenway, and a number of other locations. And we're also working with real estate property managers and marketing and ad agencies. So with this large addressable market, our thoughtfully curated products, and the demand for experiential advertising, there's a dramatic opportunity for financial growth. We're projecting $600,000 in revenue this year, growing to $2 million next year, $6 million in 2017, and an $80 million business by 2020. We've got a very experienced team. I'm just about all out of time, but I'm happy to speak with you all about that team. One worth noting, Ryan Dings, we just brought on from Blue Homes, who was core to growing their business from 25 to 300 employees. So thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you, Ryan. Up next, we have QSM.
Hi, thanks all for coming. This is QSM Diagnostics. I'm Ed Golick. I'm founder and president of QSM Diagnostics, and my day job still currently is as a professor here in chemical engineering at Northeastern University. With me today in the audience is Hunter Sismayat. He's a grad student working on this technology that we're going to present. Thad Webster spends his nights as CSO in our company. His PhD research was the basis for our diagnostic technology. And together with Craig Sokol, we just completed NSF I-Core training in Reston, Virginia, where we interviewed over 100 customers and validated our product market fit. So what does our technology do? Well, it provides an early warning system for infections that might be starting in wounds. So you can think of it as a canary in a coal mine where you can detect when an infection's starting and start treatment right away. And this is something doctors really want to be able to get started on a treatment procedure as soon as possible. The other thing is to rapidly diagnose what's causing the infection, to figure out what species or bacteria is at the source of things. Because doctors only want to treat what they have to. They don't want to use broad spectrum antibiotics that kill everything. They want to give them targeted antibiotics. And our technology addresses both of these needs. Where would you need this type of monitoring? The big customer segment would be diabetic foot ulcer patients. This group of people is particularly vulnerable to infections. If you don't start treatment immediately when an infection starts at the wound site, if it goes untreated for 48 hours, oftentimes this results in an amputation. So you really need to identify right away and start treatment. And this is already a quite large market. There's already 3.2 million diabetics in the US that have foot ulcers. And during their lives, almost 20% of them will have an amputation. And so they would have a product that would monitor at the wound site continuously and let them and the doctors know immediately when they need to start treatment. And worldwide, this is a growing epidemic. People in developing countries are changing to US diets where they're consuming sugars, they're developing diabetes, and they're going to need monitoring as well. The other area where this is important is intensive care units, where a patient's deteriorating. A doctor can't wait 2 to 3 days to get lab results back. They need to know right away whether they're diagnosing a bacterial infection and what treatment to start. So this is going to help them care for their patients, get them on the right treatment, and overall lower the costs for the hospitals. And annually, the US has about 5 million patients admitted to an ICU unit that would need monitoring and identification. And the US population's aging. People over 85 years old, numbers almost doubled in terms of ICU patients. And in the next few years, the number of people in the US over age 65 is going to go up by more than 50%. So how do we compare against other people that are testing things? Well, culture plates are the gold standard. They're very cheap, but they take multiple days to get your results back. And oftentimes you can't wait in these scenarios. There's faster ways to do it, genetic testing, mass spec identification, but these are very expensive instruments that require a technician and still require at least 24 hours of incubation time before you can get started. Our system only requires about 2 minutes to run the test, and you can run it immediately as you draw the sample or put it in contact with the wound site, and the instrument is very low cost. So how does it work? Well, unlike other systems, we're detecting the molecules that the bacteria excrete into their environment. And these molecules touch the sensor, there's a reaction that takes place and gives our signal, and you only need to detect a few species to be able to cover almost all the infections that are out there. We have an MVP already in place that you can use for testing, and we have it set up at George Washington University Hospital. They're testing with patient samples. We're setting up a large study at Angel Animal Hospital because pets and animals get infections just like humans do. And we're working to set up future testing with Brigham and Women's and Tufts if we can funds for their IRBs to be put in place. So we've already applied for over $1 million in SBIR funding. We're waiting to hear back on that. We're applying for DoD funding. We're almost done finalizing our IP back from the university. We have a business plan we're planning to pitch to other investors. We've heard that if we have, from some investors, if we have 5 metabolites that we can detect, they'll be interested in putting money in. So we're looking to speed up this panel detection process, hire a microbiologist, and move forward on getting FDA approvals, getting products out, and developing an MVP for home care. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Up next, we have Nightingale Apps.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Tiffany Kelly, and I am the founder and CEO of Nightingale Apps. Nightingale Apps is a health tech company with a vision to reinvent the way in which nurses are able to access and use information through workflow-oriented mobile applications for safer, more efficient care delivery. All of us in this room are at risk at some point for being a patient. We'll be under the care of doctors and nurses. From a nurse's perspective, how well we are cared for affects our health and can sometimes be a matter of life or death. This is taken from the Institute of Medicine. Now, what prepares us as nurses to be able to provide our patients with the highest quality care? Much of that relies on our ability to know our patients, to know those clinical information pieces as well as those pieces of information that make us individuals. I used to take care of children. I'd want to know on a cardiac unit. I'd want to know their heart rate, if they have any allergies, their diet. But I'd also want to know if there's anything in particular that I needed to pay attention to. Perhaps they couldn't swallow pills. Perhaps there was a certain order in which the meds had to be delivered. These factors together help us to ensure that each patient gets an individualized care experience. Now, you might be wondering, how is it that nurses are able to maintain all of this information while caring for multiple patients over the course of a day? We need a tool. And right now, the most comprehensive information sources to know their patient is a piece of paper. We use pieces of paper, sometimes progress notes, sometimes taken from the printer, to capture all of the important information we need from the beginning of our shift through the end of our day. This is used to access, reference, store, as well as communicate with others over the course of our day. Now you might be thinking, well, this can't be right. Aren't we spending multi-million dollars, in some case $1 billion, on electronic health records across the nation? That's true. We are, and they're basic electronic health records are in over half of the 6,000 hospitals and facilities in the United States. They have strong documented benefits, but they also have strong documented weaknesses, especially for nursing workflow. These screenshots here are of 2 articles in the last 9 months describing the struggles that nurses face. Over 80% are dissatisfied with their EHR system and workflow solutions. It also takes time away from their patients. Because we're mobile, we don't have the ability to stand in front of a computer all day or sit at a desk the way most of us that work in office settings have that capability. So then what about these? Well, let's put a computer on wheels. That screenshot on the right is from a recent article. I don't really consider this to be modern technology today, but that is what is being presented to nurses to use in hospital settings. The one on the left was from a family member who texted that to me and said these should be extinct. She was told to get out of the way because the nurse had to bring it into the room. It's big and bulky, about the size of a podium. So why don't we have something like this available for nurses today? Smartphone. 95% of nurses use a smartphone, but we don't have an enterprise solution that integrates with hospital electronic health records to date that can solve these workflow solutions. So it was 4 years ago during my PhD work at Duke University where I spent over 400 hours watching these nurses struggle to access information and provide efficient care. Do I nurse the patient? Do I nurse the computer? After watching them all pull them out of their pockets, and several examples that I'll be happy to describe later for those that are interested, I realized we need a workflow app. We need something that allows nurses to access the information they need according to the tasks at hand that can integrate with the record. And that's when I started to work through Know My Patient and form Nightingale apps. Today, we have a completed minimal viable product, and over the last few months, we've made significant strides. I was able to get down to the Southeastern Academic Medical Center where I did my research and demo Know My Patient to the nurses in which I studied. There's often concern about adoption. Will they use it? Will they like it? Is there an age gap? And I will tell you that the responses I received were extremely positive. And this facility has transitioned from one EHR system to another, and these problems still exist. One of the responses I received was, I don't like technology, but I like this. Beyond the user acceptance for hospitals, what's the impact overall? Well, we have the ability to improve safety, efficiency, timeliness, patient-centeredness, and satisfaction. To date, we are working with a pilot site to integrate with our electronic health record. We've received acceptance from both the site and the EHR to provide the integration, and over the next several months, we'll be working to facilitate this pilot test and begin to scale it across different facilities using that EHR and replicate that same model. I'll be happy to talk. It looks like I'm out of time. I'll be happy to describe further any details that you'd like to learn about following the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Up next, we have directive communication systems.
Annika, I just want to know, was it intentional that we're following two medical pitches? I want to introduce myself. I'm Lee Poskanzer with Directive Communication Systems. Just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I've been involved with helping Fortune 100 and 500 companies take innovation and bringing it into everyday standards and practices. I've been the entrepreneurial spirit for American Express, Paramount Pictures, Staples, et cetera, helping everything from gift cards to home entertainment get launched. And it was about 2 years ago that a friend of mine, this is a real friend of mine, Jim Rowans, who passed away very suddenly at the age of 44, leaving behind a wife and 2 children. He also left behind a huge digital and offline inheritance that needed to be dealt with through estate administration. Before I continue, I just want to show of hands, how many people have planned their estates? And I know the young students probably haven't even thought about it yet, but how many people have put together estate plans? How many of you have put together something that deals with your digital assets? Far less. That's a very large problem. More and more of us are doing activities online. We're conducting transactions online, we're putting our profile online, and we're putting ourselves at a great deal of exposure. And when the time comes, unfortunately, we're all going to face it. Nobody's actually addressing it today. For when someone passes away, attorneys deal with cash valued assets only, and loved ones are left immediately with the responsibility of all other profiles and assets. And it leaves a great deal of ambiguity in the marketplace. Loved ones and family members are calling attorneys going, why aren't you dealing with this? And attorneys are saying, we don't. That's not anything to do with cash. And so there's a lot of issues that go on with understanding and identifying accounts, as well as who's going to take control of those accounts. And more importantly, we're seeing that a lot of, with bank accounts going paperless, financial accounts are getting lost in the mix. So people are losing out on tens of thousands of dollars that don't get probated properly. I wanted to put together something that's going to change the paradigm for doing estate management. We're working with attorneys and putting together, and we released in May this year, we put together a platform and a solution that works with them in the estate planning process. We capture a client's accounts at that moment and then throughout the duration of their life, and we capture their directives so we know what they want to do with those accounts. And then when the time comes, we work with the estate again and we distribute out those notifications. We handle everything from deleting a profile on Twitter to memorializing something on Facebook to working with Bank of America and working on the checking account. These institutions have already worked with us, and we know that they're already taking care of our requests on these accounts. What does the market size look like? Well, if we really hone in on those who are going through the estate planning process, there's 11 million individuals that have between the ages of 40 to 60 that have household incomes of over $100,000. These are the people who are in the process of thinking about their digital inheritance. What are they going to leave their family members from a tangible asset value to what are they going to do with their digital assets and profiles? They're seeing their parents pass away, they're seeing friends being diagnosed with terminal illness, and they're having children, and they have to think about their future. Because we're a subscription-based SaaS company, we look to have people become subscribers, and they will be on our system for approximately 15 years. So that becomes almost a $10 billion opportunity. How are we going to reach this market? Well, we're working with attorneys today that are enrolling our clients. For them, there's many, many benefits, including expanding their portfolio. They're increasing the volume of their portfolio, and they like the fact that we organize them. In addition, more and more states are enacting legislation specifically around digital assets, and we're getting them quickly to comply with that. We are also looking at doing direct to consumer in a very minute way. It's not something we're really focused in on, but we will, in exceptional cases, work with them. But most recently, in the last 2 weeks, we've heard from several large banking institutions that they're looking for a white label solution. And not only are they looking for a white label solution on helping their clients plan, but they're actually looking for us to direct connect with them and reduce the inefficiencies on the administration side when over 80% of their forms come back with clerical errors, missing information, and other errors. This market is fragmented, and we have competitors that do subsets of what we do.
Some will provide instructions and directions for somebody to close a Twitter or a Facebook or an Etsy. Others will provide estate document storage, or others may manage passwords. We actually do the holistic approach for the estate planning and administration. One thing to note, in order to close or deal with accounts in estate administration, we don't need passwords. We don't need security information such as CVVs or expiration dates. We don't need security questions. So we're able to do the activities, and we customize everything based on the protocols of that institution. Real quickly at the numbers, we grow very quickly, exponentially, because of the number of accounts that people have, the number of clients an attorney has, and the number of attorneys that enroll. And it's a win-win-win for everybody. I didn't, unfortunately, have a picture of my team, but they're a pretty good group. They're leaders from Staples, from Kessler Financial. We have a Harvard Law instructor and some other members on the team. Unfortunately, I didn't get the shot, and I apologize. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Up next, we have Newgrounds Foods.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm John Fayad, co-founder and CEO of Newgrounds Food, a health-conscious food company providing a new way to consume your coffee. So we founded this company around a problem, something we all face almost every day, and that's the morning rush. So for my co-founder and I, it was running late to our 8 a.m. financial accounting class. For many of you, it may be getting your kids off to school in the morning or even just getting to work. And for us, unhealthy energy drinks and other alternatives weren't really an option. So we needed a simpler way to get our day going, but without sacrificing nutrition. So my co-founder and I got to talking. We looked into the other solutions in the market, and we both loved coffee. So we wondered, why can't we just eat it? That's us in our kitchen in Whitehall. It's a freshman dorm here at Northeastern, messing around with what would eventually be the first iterations of the coffee bar. So we'd go test it out on our friends late at night in the study room, nice lean way to do some product testing. And eventually, after a lot of different trials and tribulations, we came up with the coffee bar. It's a 100% organic, vegan, and gluten-free energy bar infused with a full cup of fair trade coffee. And this is getting us right going on our mission to provide people with healthier ways to stay energized throughout the day. So getting into market, we use a lot of Northeastern's resources, one of which being IDEA, which we're very grateful for. And eventually we got to the point we were ready to go to market, where we launched our Kickstarter campaign. This was at the end of last year. It was an amazing experience. We were fully funded in the first 15 hours. We ended up raising a little over 440% of our goal. And over 1,100 people all around the world in over 20 countries and all across the United States backed our campaign and actually wanted to eat their coffee, which was pretty exciting for us to see. And along with this success, we got a lot of attention through national resources and magazines where we were on CNBC, the Boston Globe, and even one of Oprah's favorite things, which was really exciting for us. As you know, it's Oprah. So with this, we're entering into a fairly large industry that's fast growing, the natural and organic products. It's growing at a rate of around 23% since 2012, and is currently valued at a little over $42 billion. And carved out within this industry is energy bars, which is where we're kind of going to market. And that is about $7 billion. So this is all due, this trend has been going because of healthy snacking. People are busy, as I mentioned before. We all have that morning rush that we must deal with. And we want to get to point A to point B as quickly as we can. But more recently, the trend has been towards health and making sure that we are taking care of ourselves and going forward, being just healthy and wellness-minded. So in order to go to this market and continue to expand, we've got a few different channels, one of which being distributors, which is more of a long-term strategy that we're starting to take hold of right now. And the bottom three, wholesalers, corporate accounts, and direct-to-consumer, we began doing sales as of January this year, which have been pretty exciting, as going on door-to-door, knocking down, and trying to get as much sales as possible. But in the past 6 months, we've seen quite a great response to our product. We're selling at a little over 200 locations and nearly 100 corporate accounts. The turn has been very, very well there. We're doing about 90 coffee bars per month, per day, per location. And around Northeastern, quite obviously, we're doing a little bit better at around 4 times that. So it's been a great response to the product. We've done about a little over around $50,000 in revenue. And my favorite point, the 35,000 coffee bars have been eaten since January this year, which is pretty exciting just because, back when we were in our kitchen, we were making about 10 coffee bars an hour. So it's being able to see that spewed off by the 1,000 and continue to grow the company is really exciting. Another exciting point, 2 new flavors on the way. So not just the mocha latte anymore. We surveyed our Kickstarter backers, and they want a caramel macchiato and a coconut mocha. We'll also have a nut-free version coming out soon, so for those with nut allergies, we'll be able to provide them for you. So now, moving forward, we're looking to continue to grow and expand the team and really expand our distribution. We've got some exciting purchase orders on the way through 3 large distributors, biggest of which being Gourmet International, which we're really excited for, and Nassau Candy is really close to giving us the final go. The only issue is we need working capital financing to continue to grow and expand the team, and as well as nationwide marketing campaigns. So I'd be happy to talk with you further about this later. I'm Johnny, and again, eat your coffee. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Up next, pick a sound.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Toju. I'm the CEO and founder of Pitch-a-Thon and also a business major at Northeastern University. And today I'm presenting to you Pitch-a-Thon. Pitch-a-Thon is a new collaborative platform that enables you to collaborate, remix, and crowdsource musical ideas online. The idea started from the fascination I've always had as a music producer, particularly being able to mix and match different sounds to create unique combinations never heard before. But the biggest problem I had was my inability to experience this activity in an online and social setting. Because see, the music creative process is a frustratingly isolated one, where the magic that occurs to create the songs that we love remains unseen, while we as fans only get access to the finished product, and we take no part in the creative process. Furthermore, creators are limited in their ability to communicate and express their musical ideas to each other online, being limited to only using options such as emailing sound files back and forth or Skyping to collaborate. This is why we developed Pitch-a-Thon. The core of our site is a beat matching technology that enables sounds of different speeds and pitches to match instantaneously, opening the doors to a multitude of cross-genre ideas. This is what makes crowdsourcing ideas so easy on our sites. So you can imagine what an Indian guitar would sound like over some EDM drums, or a classic film score over a hip-hop beat. The possibilities are basically endless. So I'm now going to actually demonstrate this technology to you today, but before I go into that, I want to show you a quick diagram of what a Pitch-a-Thon project looks like. So here we have a Pitch-a-Thon project. At the top is a source track. The source track is the main sound file in which contributors will be adding their sounds to. Below you can see the contributions, and each sound file is linked to the owner of that contribution. So everybody gets to see who claims credit for the work they contributed to the project. Now I can play a project and have all the files stream at once so you can hear the entire song as a whole, or I can also mute certain parts of the song so that you can hear individual sounds within a project. So to demonstrate this technology, I'm actually going to beat match 2 songs that you're all very familiar with, Imagine by John Lennon and the drums from Pharrell's Happy. So what we have here is a full screen version of a Pitch-a-Thon project, with the source track being the Imagine song and the drums being the contribution below. Now I'm going to play both of these tracks at their current speed so that you can hear how they are not actually playing in sync because they are at different speeds. Okay, so it looks like we need to slow down the drums a bit so that it can match better with the melody. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go into the editing panel of my drum contribution and to make an adjustment to my track. I can make an adjustment in 2 ways, either by manually moving the beat matching slider so that it changes the speed and pitch, or by using the tempo sync button, which automatically tells the beat matching slider to move to where it thinks it should go to match the melody. So this tempo sync button actually allows me to provide an estimate, just like it does here, but I can also then make an adjustment to move it up to where I think it should go. Now I'm going to play the track again so that we can hear it play in sync. For the purposes of the presentation, I can't finish the song because I have to continue, but so that's where we are with that. So where are we today? We raised angel funding over the course of 2014 and are currently in private beta with over 400 users testing the platform. We are looking to go into public beta in late summer and early fall of 2015. And our team consists of 3 developers, 2 of which are Berkeley alumni, as well as 3 marketing interns and a contracted PR firm called Fleischman Hillard. So overall, we really think that Pitch-a-Thon is a collaborative platform between amateur music producers and musicians, and also non-musicians. And we really see this as the future of the digital music industry because it is open, collaborative, in the cloud, and enables you to basically freely express your ideas online. Thank you.
Thank you, Toju. So up next, we have Crystal, and Crystal is Skyping in. So we're gonna test the setup here. Someone in the back. I'm getting thumbs up.
All right, start talking now.
Great. Thank you, Drew.
Oh, everything heard that, didn't I?
You're live.
Hi.
You're live on everything.
I'm Drew D'Agostino. I'm the founder of Crystal, and we build email tools to help people communicate more effectively and thus have healthier, more productive relationships. So more specifically, where we're kind of building a product in is the practice of empathetic communication. And that's because different people have different communication. Usually, and the best salespeople and recruiters will tell you this, that when you communicate with empathy, that is much more effective than communicating with ignorance. It's something we know pretty intuitively. But what Crystal does is help you, specifically when you're writing an email or any online written communication, helps you communicate in the recipient's communication style. So this is a picture, a little GIF of our host product, which is a Gmail extension. And what that does is, as you're typing your email, it recommends changes based on the communication style of the recipient. And what Crystal is doing in the background, essentially compiling public data written by a person, and then coming up with or analyzing the data to figure out what their personality is, matching them with one of 64 communication styles. And when it has that, we can plug in corrections and suggestions as you type, making your emails more effective for the recipients, and help you communicate without miscommunication. So if somebody's very direct and you're writing too many expressive words or lots of detail, it's going to stop you. And if you're being too direct, or if you're basically communicating in a way that they would perceive as blunt or rude, it would tell you to not do that. It kind of works like spell check. So we only launched about 3 months ago at the end of March, and we have gotten since then about 80,000 users as of a couple of weeks ago. And that's grown pretty steadily. We had a big spike earlier in April, and it's since been pretty predictable since the middle of May. And we have our business model is a paid subscription model. So we have 2 different kinds of accounts, one with a $19 a month account, and one $49 a month account. And we have so far close to 600 paying customers as of today, and monthly recurring revenue of $19,000. And that's from launching about 3 months ago. So Crystal has been growing internally in organizations. Just when one person actively used it or 2 people actively spreads virally, kind of in these little viral bursts in different companies. And this is just a list of companies where that's happened. Some of them have 10 users, and some of them have up to 100. And this is just a few of the paying customers that we have already. Most of our customers are individuals in either sales, business development, or recruiting positions, some management positions. But it's largely broken down into people that are having conversations with new people every day. And so those are the people this is really solving a pain point for. We have a few companies that have teams of 10 to 20 people. Those make up a small but growing percentage of our sales, and it looks like that's going to be the direction of Crystal as far as developing a business model that's sustainable and growing very predictably with return. Just to give you a little bit idea of our revenue metrics and growth over this time, just churn and upgrades, downgrades, everything here. I can go in way more detail if you want to have a conversation on the side, but this just gives you a little bit of idea since the beginning of April how we've grown. And as you can see, now if it's up to now, it's up over 19K, and our goal is to hit 20K within the next few days. So focus has been on building this subscription business to sustain our operations up to now, and Eventually, we will have more enterprise tools to sell at a higher price point because we've gotten a lot of interest, lots of inbound interest for integrations and other kinds of tools. So we're a pretty small team, but we have a pretty ambitious roadmap. And right now, what you see is Crystal is this one-to-one communication tool, which is very useful, and people are proving it by buying. But where we see a long-term competitive advantage is in having the broadest, most accurate, publicly available personality database. And that's something that doesn't really exist right now, and there are companies with the data to do it if they had our ability to analyze it, but nothing that's really publicly available for people, and that's what's resonating and spreading. I call it like slowly virally. It's not one big spike, but it's got this loop that's going on where people discover it, and at this point, people are interested from both the recipient perspective and also on the sender side of it, and those are the people that are paying. So that translated into product is going to be just more tools to grow within specific companies to make our database larger and more accurate. And then on the enterprise side, we're planning several different integrations that we're building so people can use it in their CRM systems, different email clients, and in general, more features for people that are building teams and to build healthier, more productive teams. So I just wanted to give you a little overview of our product and kind of where we're going with it over the next year. And here's my contact information if anybody has any questions for me. And I am all done.
Thank you, Drew.
Yep.
So now that you've heard our ventures pitch across a wide variety of industries, each venture will be available at a table after to answer any questions that you have about the company or their progress. Food and drinks are now being served, so feel free to eat and mingle. Thank you for coming. Another round of applause.
Okay, for everybody.
Here's Drew. Hey, that's his face. Thank you for coming. Another round of applause for our ventures who've worked really hard to put everything together today. And thank you to our events team who put all of this programming together today. Thank you guys for coming.